Hi guys, we are back with another tutorial. On the previous tutorial, remember we looked at the count if and also the count ifs function and also some other functions that we looked at earlier. For this tutorial, we are going to be looking at the sum if and sum ifs function. Now for this part 1, we are going to be looking at the sum if function, and the sum if function is very important, especially when you are dealing with a scenario where you need to do a total, and the total that you need to do requires some certain criteria. You're not just going to do the total for the whole thing. For example, if the way you normally do the normal total or the normal sum, normally do a sum for adjacent cells without checking any criteria, so that, for example, if you were to do the sum total or the total for this, we just come and insert an equal sign down here and then do sum and then input the range, that is from the first number up to the last one, then close the bracket and then click on enter, and easily you can be able to get the total down here. But for this case, for this tutorial, we want to do the sum total, or you want to do the sum for a certain criteria. For example, we have this data here that we are going to be using to help us be able to do this example. So we have a car type and also the make. We also have the year of manufacture. We also have the amount that a car was sold. So this was during a car bazaar sale in a certain day in a hypothetical scenario. So we have a car type of Toyota. We have Nissan, we have Toyota again, we have Mitsubishi, Nissan, Toyota, sorry, and then another Toyota down here. And then we have various makes up here. So for example, if we needed to know what was the sum or the total amount of money that was sold for the make for Toyota car only, then the only way we could be able to do that is to be able to use the sum if function, where you put a certain criteria to tell the Excel worksheet that you just need to do the total, or just to add the total for the sale of Toyota. That is, if you were to do the total for the sale for this day, we would just do add this, where you have the Toyota number 1, then we would also be required to add this, and also we'll be required to add the last 2 items. But assuming that this was a scenario where we had very many sales, then it would be a tiresome job to be able to carry out that addition by filtering the Toyota mix. So this is made simple by use of what we call the sum if function. So for example, if we need to do the total for Toyota car sales, then this is what we need to do using the sum if function. So we want our answer, or we want the answer that we want to get to come to this cell here. So as always, that is where you input our formula. Start with an equal sign, then put the sum if function, and then open the parenthesis, and then automatically Excel require you to input the range in which you are checking the criteria. No, do not get confused. The first range is the range in which you are checking the criteria, and automatically it becomes this range here, where you have the car mix up from B3 up to B9, and then after that put a comma, and then we input the criteria inside the quotation marks, or inside the speech marks. So you come and input the criteria that the car that we want, the car make that we want to do the sum is the Toyota make. Then after that, we are going to insert another comma, and then now we input the sum range. The sum range is the range that contains the figures that we are going to do the total if the car is a Toyota. So we come also input the range from E3 all the way to E9, and then after that we close with a closing parenthesis, and then we click on enter. So you can see that the amount now that comes here, just change the currency to my local currency, which is Kenya shillings, and I will be able to change that from here so that you can have a uniform data like that. So you can see that this becomes Kenya shillings 16 7,450,000, and you can easily confirm that by adding the total for Toyota, the first one, which is 7 million, then add the other one, which is 900,000, then add the last two, which is 750 and 7,800,000. So this will give you a total of this figure here that shows you the total for Toyota. So we can still do the same for Nissan. We can do the same for Nissan by starting by putting an equal sign, then we put the sum if, and then we open the brackets, then put the range. It is still the same range, like that. Then put a comma, then the criteria in speech marks, and the criteria that we want, and the criteria that we want to input here now is Nissan, because that is a car make that you want to do the total, Nissan. Just make sure that you indicate the name correctly as the way it is indicated in your range. Then after that, after putting the criteria, then you also need to input the sum range. So the sum range runs from this cell going downwards up to that point there, and then after doing that, just confirm that things are okay, and then you click on enter, and you can see that you get a figure of 1,210,000. Again, this can easily be changed to match the currency, to match it to Kenya shillings from here. So that gives you 1,210,000, and that, guys, is how you use the sum if function. So for the next tutorial, we are going to do the Sum Ifs function, and the Sum Ifs function is going to be important because what if you have more than one criteria? You are not just checking the car type. Maybe you need to have the car type, then also put into factor the make and also the year of manufacture. So those are 3 criteria. So that way you're going to be able to do that. You are going to be using the Sum Ifs function. So stay tuned for the next tutorial, and remember to like this video. Also, if you have any query, comment section is open, and also subscribe to this channel and share. See you in the next tutorial.